Live. Okay. So hi.
Hi.
So welcome everyone. Today I have a very interesting guest with me. She's seen a few countries. She speaks a few languages, and she's always looking bright and colorful when I see her, which is
Thank you.
interesting. I'll let her introduce herself in whatever way she sees fit. So please introduce
Okay.
yourself.
So, hi. Thank you so much for inviting me here. It's such an honor to fit this seat. And my name is Aminatou Adeniji. I would say French speaking country in the West because believe me, I'm from a bunch. But I'm mainly from Cote d'Ivoire, known as Ivory Coast in English. And also, I have like Nigerian background as well. So yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, so before we get started, give me a second.
What was that?
No, keep going. Oh yeah, let's see. So Amy,
Two?
Aminatou,
Yeah.
what do you prefer to be called?
Um, wherever is easier for you to pronounce.
What does your grandmother call you?
Toby.
Toby.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The full name is Oluwatobiloba,
Oh wow.
and that is in Yoruba. So my Nigerian tribe is Yoruba actually, and it means God is royally great.
Oh wow. I love
Yeah.
how Nigerians have these long, complicated names that's always a phrase. It's not just my name just means Kasigas, it just means a youth.
The names are long,
Yeah.
complicated maybe, but they are more meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. They
Yeah.
have meaning. Well, the longer
Yeah.
the name, the more the meaning.
Yeah. I mean,
Americans' names don't have anything. They don't mean anything. So,
no comparison. No comparison.
well, so tell us. Let's begin from the ground. Young Amy, young Ami, young Aminatou, young.
Oh, my whole biography.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's the origin? We've got that like in a short summary, like because you've seen many countries. I want to see where did you start? How many years you spent in each country? You're now in the US. You've also been here a while. Can you give us that timeline?
Okay. Many countries. I won't say that because I didn't live for a long time in like many countries. It was more like Cote d'Ivoire
Oh, okay.
and United States, right? And the other countries was just like for a few times. So they were not like my basic living places. And yeah, I was born and raised in Cote d'Ivoire, and that's where I grew up. I am from an immigrant family who moved to Cote d'Ivoire, actually. And yeah, growing up, I want to say that being an immigrant in United States is not something new. Wait, can I do a pause?
I know. Go on.
Because I don't know what to look at. Do I need
No,
to
no.
look?
Look at me.
Oh, okay.
This is for the audio.
Okay, okay.
That's
So,
just for record keeping purposes.
all right.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, being an immigrant in the United States right now is not something new for me, if I can say this way, because I've been always like immigrants, even in Cote d'Ivoire, that I call also my country of origin, because like being a child of immigrants moving from to another country.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
This is nothing new.
yeah, that's not something new for me.
So there's having different backgrounds in terms of countries and homage and how you identify. You also speak different languages
Yeah, I
in
do.
terms of French, English. What are your dreams in? What language are your dreams in?
I don't get this question. What do you mean?
Like when you dream and they're speaking, what language is that?
Like literally, you're asking me what language my brain speaks, right?
Yeah, like okay, the inner voice inside you when it's
Yeah.
speaking, what language is that?
Man, that is such a very good question because like the time that I'm more myself is when I pray, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I pray, I see myself switching from one language to another one. Like
Oh, wow.
sometimes I start with French, I transition in Yoruba, and then I find myself in English.
Wow.
So it's just I can tell my brain is
Wow.
just around
Well,
everywhere.
that's amazing because for some
Okay.
of us, everything is in one language. We can't even dare to think. You only switch to another language when it's like the
Mhm.
word does not exist in English, because English is a very limited language.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm like, oh, what's that word in Luganda? Then I have to look for it. Oh, my.
And I do understand.
That's interesting. So you born and raised in Cote d'Ivoire.
Mhm.
When did you move to the US?
So I moved to the US. I think in 2022.
Oh, wow, that's recent, after COVID.
Yes, I moved after COVID actually. So
It was for school, I guess.
yeah, I moved here for my undergrad program, which I already completed. So yeah, that was the main purpose when I moved here.
Wow, did you have family in the US, or did you just?
Oh, so when I just moved here, it no family. So I came as a student and I was living in school.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
That must have been a huge change for a child. Like, just you in this random new world.
I mean, yeah, the changes was there, was like really impactful, to be honest with you. But again, that was not my first life as an immigrant, right? So like
You've been there before.
yeah, I've been there before, so
So, what
I
was your
try to handle
first
it.
culture shock? I mean, Ivory Coast, the US. You landed in which state?
Arkansas.
I'm guessing there was like a huge. What was the first thing that for you saw and you're like, whoa, this is. What was the first culture shock for you?
The language.
The language.
Speaking English is something,
Oh.
and understanding the accent is something else.
Oh.
Because believe me, even in United States, in different states, people have different accents. So the accent was huge because before coming here, I took like English test to show my level in English, and it was pretty good because like for me, I have a pretty good level in English in terms of like speaking, reading, understanding words. And then when I moved here, the accent, oh my God. And mind you, my classes were delivered in an accent that I was not familiar with. So imagine how I almost failed all my classes because
Wow.
I cannot understand what the teacher was saying. It was huge.
Yeah,
The change
that's.
was huge.
Trust me,
So yeah.
even though you're like really, really good at English, you come here and people are like, what? So people back home think we switch accents because we want. We switch accents so that people can understand us.
Yes,
You're talking to
exactly.
someone, it's like, what? You repeat
Yes.
3 times, you're like, okay, fine, I'll pronounce it the way you pronounce it so you can understand me. And you do that over time, you find yourself also changing the accent. I was listening to a really good podcast by Lupita Nyong'o, very famous. She's in Wakanda. She won
Mhm.
Oscars. Very famous Kenyan. And she was talking about how when she also came, because she also came for school, came for
Mhm.
undergrad,
Mhm.
the rest is history. And she was talking about how there was a time when they told her to go do 12 Years a Slave, the movie. They wanted her to speak in like her real Kenyan accent.
Mhm.
And she was shocked that she could no longer remember how to,
Girl.
because she had spent so much time now, and then this
Yeah.
accent becomes part of who you are, and because it's your experience, you experience this time in your life, so your language depicts that, the way you speak depicts that. It's not a bad thing, but
Mhm.
she was shocked that she couldn't remember. She had to first go back to Kenya for like
Oh my God.
some
Oh
some
my God.
months to so it's a
Mhm.
very interesting phenomenon that even though you speak really good English, there's a difference between yes, I know English, and
Yeah.
these people understanding me.
Yes.
And for the US, it's even like you mentioned, it's even worse because every state has different accents and
Yeah.
different. So,
Yeah.
and now I can't even imagine coming from an English speaking, so a
Mhm.
French speaking to an
Country.
English
Mhm.
speaking country,
Mhm.
and a lot. I don't know. Are there French schools in the US? I doubt.
I think there's
How was
one
the
in Manhattan.
how was the day to day, like ordering food, you know?
Oh,
like just living in the school and outside class?
First, when you transition to a place that is completely new for you and you can't even communicate, because the point of communication is for the person receiving your message to at least understand what you're trying to say. And if there's no understanding because of the accent, because of the language, so there's no communication technically. So when you like move somewhere where you cannot do the basic things, which is communication, the first sorry, the first thing that knocks your door is isolation.
Yes.
So you are more likely to isolate yourself because you don't want to find yourself in a group of people where you are speaking and they can't even get what you are trying to say, and that make you feel like a type of way. And for there is this inner peace that we all want to protect, right? And for us to protect that peace, like we tend to think more about like isolation. So the day-to-day life was more like, I don't really talk to people, school, home, school, home, school, home, which kills. I won't
Yeah.
advise this to anyone. Like whenever you are like experiencing like a change of environment and you see that isolation is what is knocking your door, don't open it, because this is not the solution. This is gonna increase your problem.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good advice.
Oh, thank
Right.
you.
Put yourself out there, try. Because there's a book I read when I was very young. I think it was part of also the 14 Laws of Power.
Mm-hmm.
When you keep yourself, when you build a fence around yourself, you're not keeping others out, you're keeping yourself in.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's interesting. So fast forward, you're done. How long was the undergrad?
Um
4 years, 3 years?
yeah, so the program was like 4 years, and I did like I think 1 year back home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I started my program in Cote d'Ivoire and I transferred here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and yeah, in 2024 I graduated, which was last year. So
And now you're here.
yeah, and now
That
I'm
was-
here doing the
So you
master.
just jumped straight from undergrad to a master's.
Yeah, but I worked for like a couple of months before starting the master program.
Okay, so what was your discipline in the undergrad?
Yeah, I did international relations and with
Okay.
a concentration in international affairs and security.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then now you're fast forward, you're in New York.
Yeah.
First of all, give me that whole process. How did you discover Katz Yeshiva?
Mhm.
Who told you about it? How did you decide that this is the place?
Okay, let's start from the beginning. My bachelor program, like my discipline is a very liberal arts major, that meaning they don't train us for like a specific job. So going for a grad program was a little bit like mandatory because you need to like get a specialization. So before my graduations, I was thinking what I want to specialize myself in. And then I know how important IT is. And that again, like as uh, my concentration was international affairs and security, I got to study like how different cyber attacks have affected like countries, organizations, and all. And that opened my eyes on how this thing is very important and how it can destabilize like big organizations or big countries. So, as someone who has a passion beyond like the private but more public, a public passion, if I can say it this way, because my passion wanna like help the public, help a big community, not just like a small private group. So I was like, okay, let me go for the cybersecurity. I always wanted to work for like international organizations that impact like the world, might not be only the world, but just impact
People.
people from different backgrounds, like across cultures, across languages. So I'm like, okay, let me go for like cybersecurity because yes, IT is the future. IT is the
Interesting.
future, and we need to be secure.
Interesting.
So let's make the world secure.
So that's how you switch from international relations to IT.
That wasn't really a switch. I won't say. It's just like a specialization.
Oh,
Like
specialization.
yes, I studied international affairs and security, who opened my eyes on how important cybersecurity is, and I decided to specialize myself in cybersecurity. And hopefully, one day I will get into those international organizations where I will be able to, exhibit my skills and applied my
Okay.
skills,
So
and including my knowledge.
how do you decide on New York? How do you decide on Katz school?
Mhm.
How does that happen? Did someone tell you about it?
No one
Okay.
told me about it. So I was sitting in my room in Arkansas, and I was thinking about what university I'm gonna go to get like my cybersecurity degree. Then I started looking. I looked, and I saw Katz. Actually, to be honest with you, one of the first things that catch my attention is that time they have like the application fees waived.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
that's a good thing.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is a university where like my application is not gonna cost me anything but my time, and yeah, let me just give it a try.
yeah,
And then I gave it a try. I got accepted, and it was pretty good. I was like, yeah, they're offering cybersecurity, and
a
in one of
scholarship.
yes, a scholarship of $10,000 was gonna help also, and they are well located. They are located in one of the most vibrant states
Yeah, New York
in the
is vibrant,
country, if not the
vibrant.
world. So I'm like, okay, let's go. This is gonna be another adventure because yeah, I was living in a country city in Arkansas.
Okay.
So girl, see, I'm used to
Oh,
transitioning. Okay, let's
oh,
transition from country
so
to big city.
oh, nice. So wasn't concrete jungle. It wasn't.
No, at all, at all, at all.
Oh,
It
nice.
was like very small, peaceful, and beautiful city.
Then you come to noise and sirens and ambulances.
Yes, yes,
Oh, nice.
yes.
That must have been a huge change. Can you paint like the first day you land in New York or the first time you're interacting with New York? Had you been here before?
So, before the school,
Yeah.
well, I moved to New York before I start my program. To be honest,
Ah, okay.
so I was living here for a couple of time before I started the program, and then how did I say it when I first landed? I felt home. I felt home.
Yeah,
Like
interesting.
what? I can literally walk in the street and see some ingredient from back home being sold on the street in a store not far from my
That
my place. Like I can
that
literally get plantains everywhere. I can get like eggplant everywhere. I can get these vegetables that I used to eat at home everywhere.
that
And it was like, oh my god, this is
is amazing.
beautiful.
I
So
I
and I get to negotiate price. I miss that part so much. Like when I was living back in Arkansas, whenever I need to buy something, the place that I go most was Walmart. Of course,
yeah,
you're gonna go in Walmart and
it
negotiate
is
the
what
price
it
of an
is.
article, yeah. But when I came here, like I have this opportunity to be negotiating the price, like, and that was so cool.
Honestly, you're right. Because even me, one of the first things I saw was like, wait, because I came from home, then I went to Toronto for like 3 months, and
Mhm,
then I came here.
mhm,
But in Toronto, was like I was worried,
mhm,
is this how most like cities in America are?
mhm,
And the Americas, I was like, oh, because like you said, you can't get the big avocados in
mhm,
Toronto. You only get the small ones from what. But here, you walk down the street and there's a cart selling
mhm.
bananas, selling the big
Yeah,
avocados. I was like, oh wow.
yeah.
To me, the shock was
Mhm,
I was walking the streets and there are people putting things on the ground
mhm.
selling. That's like back home. I was like,
You
wait, you people
see,
do this as
you
well?
see.
I would tell people New York is like all the advantages of Africa, like the
Man,
accessibility, minus all the potholes and electricity
I, I
outage.
call New York countries within the states.
Yes,
It's different
it's
countries. Like
amazing.
literally, you walk into some neighborhood here in New York, and you ask yourself, "Am I in America?"
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because
And
you're in a different country, and that is so beautiful. I think those are things that contribute to the that gives like unique feature
New York,
to New
yeah.
York. Yeah.
You did
So
you did tell me one day that you are surprised that you walk down the street and hear a lot of French speaking people.
yes, that was in Manhattan. Like I'm walking the street of Manhattan and hearing people passing and speaking French. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that that
okay.
that too was also shocked. It's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
it's a very diverse, very lively, very accessible place, which
Yes.
it kind of removes the homesickness, which I was about to ask you about, because when you're removed from an environment you've known all your life and
Yeah.
placed in a new one,
Mhm,
something has to happen. You're not just
mhm,
going to blend in and vibes and
mhm.
so uphill. you miss the home things, you miss the home vibe, you miss
Mhm.
the home energy,
Mhm.
which kind of New York helps with, because I can go
Yeah.
down the streets and I remember when I just come, we stayed in an Airbnb, and across the street there was an African shop, like real Africa. They had like African brands. They have Blue Band, they have Royco, like they had things I was like, oh wow,
See?
that kind of reduces on the home.
See, homesick. Like I can't promise that New York is gonna completely heal your homesickness,
But it
but
won't be as bad.
this is a remedy.
Yeah, it
Believe
won't.
me, this is a remedy.
Okay, so you get to Katz, you get to school. First of all, where's family at this point?
So like I have relatives that who I live with here.
Okay.
I'm not that alone anymore. And I have my brother who moved here as well.
Okay.
So this is pretty good. And then most of my family they live in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's nice.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel that much. You move to Katz, what's the first impression?
I moved to Cotswolds. First impression. Mm. First, I saw. Do you want me to be honest?
Try without being.
Okay. Oh yeah, the building was big, and yeah, I like where it is located. It's located in the heart of Manhattan,
Yeah.
and that is pretty good. And then when I walked in the building, so my very first time at CATS was when I attended the orientation day, and I
Yeah.
believe that orientation day was for international students.
It was
So
actually the whole STEM. Just so happens that most of their science, because they have STEM and health.
mhm,
So STEM is computer science, DMM, DAV, cyber. That's STEM.
okay,
It just so happens that most of them are international,
oh
but
wow,
it's open to everyone.
yeah. So like I got to see like the big international student community that CATS have, and I was like, oh wow, that is something good.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
And turns
Yeah.
out, actually, it's most graduate programs in most universities. There's a statistic I saw recently.
Yeah.
Colombia has a way bigger international, like,
You
it's
see.
surprising for the country.
Uh-huh.
Most graduate master's programs
Uh-huh.
are filled with international students,
I mean, I'm not surprised.
which is interesting. It's like, wait, this
It's
is
interesting, yeah, but I'm not
yeah.
surprised.
So yeah, the diversity, it just depends on what
Mhm.
kind of diversity, because you
Yeah.
find places like Colombia, most are from
Uh-huh.
Asia, but then you find places like our school, most are from Africa right now. It has
Mhm.
not always been like that, but right now they're from Africa. Different universities have their own vibe. So
Okay.
you walked in and you saw.
Yeah, like again, I'm not surprised because America has a very good educational system,
Yeah.
and people want to have access to like very. I'm not saying that other countries does not have like a good educational system, or the education is not that doesn't have like that good quality, but you know, I mean, let me talk about like recently in the past decades, like the American system has made that very good educational system accessible to everyone around the world. So like it's good, and it's mainly like the reason why you can, more likely to see like a lot of international students,
Actually,
I think.
on that point, let me ask you something. So you've done your undergrad in America, at least, so you can give us perspective on that.
Mm.
The teaching of CATS, how the people teach, how the professors teach.
Mhm.
Contrast that, like give us a picture with, let's say, the teaching of the undergrad or the teaching back home in Africa.
Mhm.
How different is it? How similar is it? What's your take on
Oh, do you want me
the
to do
style?
the cooperation between like the two countries, or between my undergrad
Because
school
you've
and
studied in different environments, and I
yeah?
just want you to kind of paint a picture of what this studying environment feels like to you
Okay.
from someone who has walked your shoes.
Oh, I mean, like, of course, it's gonna be different because we are talking about like two different countries, and they don't even speak the same languages. So, of course, it's gonna be different, right? And I mean, like, my first year at the university, I did it in Cote d'Ivoire, and those classes was delivered in English, and the professor were really mindful that English wasn't our first language, sorry, but yeah, like the classes was delivered like in a good way, but again, like when you feel the environment. You feel at home.
Yeah.
You feel
What of like,
comfortable regardless.
can you give me the focus, like in terms of how they are teaching you, what they're focusing on, what they're training you, excuse me, as a person? Because we have different styles. I don't know, maybe it's a graduate, undergraduate thing, but let's say where I'm from, it's more, cram this, get your grade, go away.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I would say like it was more like understand what they are teaching you, because the educational system there is no multiple questions. Yeah, it's question answer.
Yeah.
So you need to like they ask you a question, you need to answer, and if you don't understand, you won't be able to answer that. So like more understanding what they are teaching you rather than memorizing. But also there's also the memorizing, but the memorizing part was more in high school.
Yeah.
But in when I in college, it was more like understand what they are teaching you and be able to like answer those like critical thinking questions.
Okay. So that again with your masters, is it kind of the same? Does it feel different?
Okay, with my master is in IT, right? And the IT is
Cybersecurity, to be specific.
yes, cybersecurity, and the information technology is more technical as well. So yes, of course, it's gonna be different, and
Yeah. So for someone
having
actually who,
hands-on.
someone who came, exactly to your point, someone who came from a different study and now you're crossing over, I think the international relations is more of an arts.
Yeah, it
What?
is an Bachelor of Art. Yeah,
So now you cross over to a
yeah,
STEM course. Can you
yes.
give us that experience for you? What you earlier you were telling me about the difference. This one is more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bachelor of Art is more like it works more with like your critical thinking and your creativity. It's not, when I say creativity, I'm not saying that you need to make things up, but you need to like have hypotheses and be able to defend those,
Yeah.
and then do some research as well. And then also like my major was also like in presentations, and talking about presentation, you need to work with your creativity. You need to make your creativity work, because you make the PowerPoint make the PowerPoint very presentable, and deliver the message of the PowerPoint in a very like creative way, and also a way that your audience will be able to understand.
Okay.
Whereas the IT has that part that showcase that skills as well, but it is also more like your knowledge of computer, your knowledge of like how to do this, how to do that in computers, and
It's
yeah,
technical.
and yeah, my honest opinion would be like IT, information technology, is fun when you know it's fun, and yeah, generally like all knowledge, all in everything, like
How's
it's fun when you know.
Yeah, it's something like it's hard at first, but it's fun when you get
Yeah,
it. How
yeah,
was that learning curve for you? Was it something you felt like, can I really handle this? Did you
yeah.
at any point doubt, you know, or were you like, this is too much or this is too
Mhm.
hard, or was it an exciting challenge for you?
Of course, education itself is a challenge,
Yeah, touche.
because acquiring it require a whole things. So yeah, education itself is a challenge, and then it is on you to make it fun. The fun that I said is mostly at the end of the knowledge, when it is once it is acquired. So I think it is pretty early for me to say like a lot about what IT looks like versus what my Bachelor of Arts looks like, because again, I have like entry level in that IT, as I'm still learning to grow more my knowledge. I'm not that deep into IT, but what I can tell is like, yes, at first it's always like challenging, as education is itself, but you just need to make it fun. Even if it is hard, just make it fun to make it easier
Interesting.
for you to learn.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to peel back a bit and talk about Aminatou as
Mm-hmm.
the person.
Mm-hmm.
Your identity has changed. You've
Mm-hmm.
been Ivory Coast
Mm-hmm.
and how you used to see the world and how you see yourself.
Yeah.
You get to Arkansas and there's a way now you see the world and how you see yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
get to New York and how you see the world, you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an idea of how that has changed? Has it changed, first of all? And if now you have to define who Aminatou is, can you try and paint that for us?
So are you saying that the change of my environment, does it have like any impact of the person that I am?
Even you, the way you see yourself, the way you think about the world, the way you think about the
Yes.
identity.
Yes, of course it did. And then I'm not gonna give all the credit to the environment, to be honest. I would give the credit to the time as well, because as time goes, we grow. We grow every day, right? And then yes, of course I'm gonna be like a different person whenever I cross this stage of learning. So yeah, I became like a different person. Like I remember the person that I was when I was in Cote d'Ivoire is not the same person seated in front of you right now. Like my way of seeing the world has changed. My way of like understanding people
Give us one
has
kind
changed.
of way, if you can pinpoint any.
Yeah. The first thing is like when I was in Cote d'Ivoire, I thought depression was a myth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I remember having a conversation with this lady. Her name is Ornila. Ornila, I don't know how far this podcast is going to go. If one day you hear me, I owe you an apology. I'm so sorry.
We'll make sure she reaches.
Yes. Because I remember that she used to live in Canada. And then she moved back in Cote d'Ivoire. And then me and her, we were having like a conversation one day. And I asked her, why did you move back to Cote d'Ivoire? And she said, because of depression. I laughed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I laughed at her and I was like, really? Depression?
What does that mean?
That is a sickness for rich people, rich kids.
Wow.
See, she looked at me and she didn't say a word. Now I came to America. Depression is real.
Yeah.
Depression is real.
You get to grow, you get to learn, you get to learn more
Yes.
things.
You know, I don't know how it is in your country, but I know in most countries in Africa, we tend to minimize the psychological state of people.
We don't. First of all, we can't even afford to look into them because
it's not only about affording, it's acknowledging that it exists. Because when we are in front of someone who is facing depression, you know, have you heard about the postpartum depression?
PTSD, yeah.
Yes, after women has given birth, and they are going through like some mental, yeah, that is something that, you know, I think needs to be teach in most countries back home in Africa, because we don't acknowledge them. Like those things exist, but we don't
talk about them.
We don't talk about them. We don't accept it. Yeah.
So that's
and I was part of them, and now
you see the world differently.
Yeah, I see the world differently.
Interesting. Before we continue, what's identity in French?
Identité.
Oh. A lot of words are borrowed.
Yes.
Tell me something which is like your favorite quote. Okay, not your favorite quote, but something you think the French do. Okay, let me not go quotes. Let me ask this. Something you think the French language does better than the English language? Because you know both. You can.
We are more romantic.
Oh, nice.
We are more romantic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the image we tried to portray. Yesterday I was watching basketball and the like commentators were in French. And I was like, it doesn't give the same energy, because for them they're saying voila when someone scores, and I'm like, or makes a pointer, and I'm like, that doesn't feel as.
Also, we are very sarcastic.
Oh, really?
Very sarcastic.
We should be what?
Very sarcastic. And yeah, this is part of the transition as well, because I come from a very sarcastic background. So it was hard for me to, and I like cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Right? When I was back home, that's part of my nature as well. I like cracking jokes. And so imagine you used to crack jokes
All the
that
time.
is a bit sarcastic
Yeah.
among people who are sarcastic like you and get it as a joke, and then you crack that kind of joke among people who are pretty much emotional. They're gonna
And
look
then-
at you as, oh my gosh, she's heartless. How can she make such comments?
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's a very different environment. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get like what that feels like, because there's this deep-rooted question of what defines how we say ourselves. Language is a big part of it, because you have to describe the thing.
Yeah.
So you can describe the thing in 3 different languages. Do you speak Yoruba very well?
Yes, I do.
So you can describe something in 3 different languages,
Yes.
2 international ones.
Mhm.
Do you think, because first of all, people who are multilingual, research has been done on this, they think better, they are better thinkers, they're smarter than, and not to the dot, but, all terms given, all things being held constant. So you are multilingual in 3. Most African people actually are. It's hard to find someone who's just one language. Whether it's two from back home or one.
The official language and the mother language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of us have like 2
Yeah.
mother languages, different.
Yeah.
So there's that part of your identity, and then there's the part of environment, like you are mentioning, and how it impacted you. And then there's just how your friends see you, how your community sees you, how your family sees you. And for most of, I don't want to say adult life, but you came for your undergrad. You've been kind of away from your family. Or
Yeah.
do you think, first of all, how has that shaped you in the person you are today? With all those factors combined, you're speaking
Yeah.
different environments, different environment away from your people, different environment away from, not away, but combined with different languages.
How does that shape me?
Yeah.
I mean, I see those characteristics as part of my identity.
Nice.
Those are Aminatou.
What's your favorite name though? Like the one you like calling yourself?
Minat.
Minat.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a Muslim name?
So Aminatou is a Muslim name. It's an Arabic name, sorry. And I'm Muslim. So yeah.
Okay. So I like to take you back to, you're now in New York. You're in CAD school. You've just finished your first semester, right?
Yes.
How was it?
Oh, my first semester was pretty flexible, to be honest. It was cool. It was like a pretty good invitation to the discovery. So yeah, it was good.
Nice. If you look back at, you came in spring, in the winter. Was that your first winter? Is it cold in Arkansas?
Oh yeah, the weather is pretty warm in Arkansas in general, and yeah, we experience like some podcast when it gets cold as well. But mind you, when it gets too cold and there's too much snow outside, they cancel the classes and they put them online. But here, oh
like,
no,
go to school.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you look back at the person who came here, you said you were here for a while before you joined Katz.
Yeah.
When did you come?
Oh, I think I already answered that question.
Okay, let's take back last year, November, versus the person now.
Okay.
What would you tell old Aminatou in December?
Oh man, whole change. Even the Aminatou of last month, now it's not the same. Because yeah, I mean the adult life. I'm a young adult, right? And the young adult life is a lot of transition. You learn, you grow every day.
Interesting.
Just embrace those growth. Don't see them as challenges. See them as advantages, and embrace them.
Okay. Interesting journey from Ivory Coast to Arkansas to New York.
Yeah.
What do you think the next chapter is?
I mean, I also lived in Maine.
Oh, for real?
Yes, I lived in Maine as well, and I lived in like some states, but I mean, yeah, that's
interesting. So where do you think the next chapter is going to be? Do you have an idea?
To be honest, I don't know. I just know that I might consider moving back to the south.
Why?
After my, because New York has all its beautiful things that makes it unique, right? But I'm someone that I don't really like it too much crowded. I'm not
Oh,
a
you're
really, really
more
city
slow.
person.
Okay.
I like it slow. I like it quiet. I like it calm.
Country.
I like big house with a yard.
Yeah,
Yes.
not 5 square meters of bed space.
See?
Yeah, New York is it's kind of expensive.
And
But
yeah.
there's a song I used to listen to. It was actually someone's commencement ceremony. They just turned it into a song. We called it Sunscreen Song. The guy was like, live in New York City once, but leave before it makes you hard.
Yeah.
And then leave, I think he said North Carolina, but leave before it makes you too soft. So you have to find a balance between
Yes.
high energy, high intensity, and
Yes.
also too slow for me to be kind of
Yeah.
So
And as they say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
yeah, and the more you stay here, the more you understand what they mean.
Bro, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So beyond just academic knowledge, you've learned a lot, obviously, cyber, someone coming from a different background. What any other unexpected skills or strength do you think you've picked up along your months in New York or at the school?
Okay. Skills unexpected?
No, just like, I think I perfected how to, I don't know, do anything.
I mean, yeah. I didn't know I would pass all my first semester with all A.
Nice.
Yes, I didn't know that. I thought like it's gonna be like C because it is a transition.
Yeah.
C or F. Like I was expecting the worst. But yeah, I was pretty good. I was, surprised that, I respond well to that invitation semester because I got my first semester an invitation semester to the IT. So yeah, I was
Do you
very surprised.
feel the drive you have now and the push and the way you see you doing things, is it different from what used to be in Arkansas? Were you this go, 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 go?
Not really. To be honest with you, Emmanuel, this little girl of Arkansas is still in me somewhere because sometimes when I see some stuff here in New York, I'm like, no, it shouldn't be like that. In Arkansas, it wasn't like this. Like, I still need someone to pinch me and it was like, Minat, wake up. You're not in Arkansas anymore. You're in New York.
Yeah.
New York is countries within state.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So did your journey kind of inspire anyone else around you? Are you trying to has it inspired anyone else around you, Paulu? Like,
Yes.
do tell.
Whenever I tell people, my friends from Arkansas, that I moved to New York, they would be like, wow, New York. Wow, why New York? New York. Oh, you moved to New York, So I'm like, yes, I moved to New
Have
York.
you told anyone about the school? Try to get them through the same program, maybe? Any relatives, siblings, cousins, friends, enemies?
I mean, I told people about like my school and the program that I'm doing, but everyone has like their own part. I mean, most of the friends that I graduated with, they decided to prolong their professional journey before thinking about going for like grad program.
Okay.
And grad program. So yeah, I think again I graduated in 2024. That was just last year. So it's too early, in my opinion, to decide like whether for some it's too early for them to decide if they want to go back to school, stop work, and go back to school. Right? For me, it was something I was sure of. Like acquiring degree, acquiring knowledge is something that I like, and I believe can help a lot as well. So
Are you going
I'm
to do a
definitely
PhD
gonna.
after this?
Yeah, that's my intention.
Oh, for real?
Inshallah, that's my
For real?
intention.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same major? Are you going back to the arts? Are you staying in the sciences? How do you see that?
It depends. It depends because my intention is like get the master in cybersecurity before even possible.
Okay.
Like mainly get work experience, see what they need, what direction it is taking, and go back to school to get specialization in it and come back on the workplace and help.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Mhm.
Aminatou.
You're
As I
welcome.
wrap up, If you had a magic wand, all magical powers, and you change one thing about your entire experience in New York, at the school, in US, what would you change? Or do better, or remove, or add, or more of, or less of?
I think we're on a podcast. I cannot give an honest. I cannot give an honest answer to this. I don't think you want to hear my honest answer. But yeah.
Okay, so I have one more.
It's gonna be like to answer. If I have the power to change something, it's gonna be more in the policies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something in the that's something most, because it's a new environment. It's a new, and that's not you. Even people who have grown up here, I would want to change them.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my last, I have some fire rounds for you.
Okay.
Short answers. Are you ready?
Okay.
Let's start small. What was your dream job as a child?
My dream job as a child, I wanted to be a singer.
For real?
Yes.
What happened?
I don't have the talent. I grew to realize that I don't have the talent.
Okay, if you could swap lives with a cartoon character for a week, who would you be?
A witch in the Disney.
A witch in Disney?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Which one? Let me see. I only know the Wicked Witch. There's that one in Cinderella. Okay. If you could sing everywhere or dance to everywhere, which one would it be? I already know your answer.
You already know it? Do you want me to give you like a specific title?
No, like if all you had, every room you walk in, you're either walking in singing or you're walking in dancing for the rest of your life. Which of the two are you doing, singing or dancing?
I will dance.
For real?
Yes. I will dance.
Okay. Worst pickup line ever used on you?
What's what?
The worst pickup line ever used on you?
There's a bunch. I need to think. But yeah, on my name. My name. Someone that day I was like introducing myself and I said, "Oh, my name is Aminatou." And the person looked at me and was like, "Aminatou, do you have a sister?" I said, "Yes." And it was like, "Is she Amina one?"
Well, to be fair, it's kind of funny. And smart.
Yeah.
What, do you hear that a lot? Like,
that was my first. That was my first time to do the link.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Smart. You have to, that's a smart one. I would be like, okay, I don't like it, but kudos.
Oh man,
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Aminatou, for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
I hope I get to you around. You still have 3 more semesters to go.
Yeah.
And I hope New York gets to keep you a bit longer. We need people of your energy and of your skill set and of your diverse backgrounds, because you bring something unique to the table. If something I've learned from this school is even just the character, the mere fact that you could uproot your life and come to Arkansas, an unknown environment. You didn't even have family there, but you still did it.
Yeah.
Very people have that drive. Very people have that in them. And that's something to leverage. That's something that's actually, that's the energy you take to every company, every job. Tell them, I am that. That never goes away. And that's the energy. That's the thing I'll bring to your company when you hire me. That's what I'll do for you. It may be in a different sector, in a different application, but that's in me. Then you even leave Arkansas and come to New York again, going into the unknown, a young girl, and you just go for it. That's not something you should take for granted. And something you should actually leverage.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so honored again to occupy the seat. And thank you mostly for all the motivational words you'll be giving me. You're such a sweet soul, Emmanuel. Thank you. I'm so happy and grateful that you're the one interviewing me and I'm having this conversation with you. Literally, you make it so interesting for real. You make it smooth, interesting, and very easier. Thank you.
I'll try. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done. Oh, good.
So
I hope I did good.
So for the last one, if you want.
So my face is not gonna show.
In the one that goes to the school, no. In this one, yes.
I was like, why did I put on the makeup then?
So if you want, you can do a last take on introducing yourself. If you want,
Okay.
now that you're more comfortable, maybe there's something you didn't say that you want. I mean, if you want.
Okay. Let me know if I'm good to go.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Aminatou Adeniji.